Okay, mathematicians, for today's lesson, this is Unit 8, Lesson 2. Hopefully our smartboard is more friendly today. Okay, and our focus for today is very similar to yesterday. We're still talking about metric unit. Yesterday we were talking about units of length, and we were looking at meters. Today we're going to focus on metric units of liquid volume. So we're going to convert among metric units of liquid volume. So liquid is anything that is liquid. So like milk, water, soda, orange juice. Okay. Remind me what convert means again. Excellent, to change. So we are changing from one unit to another. Metric units are base 10 units, which means that we multiply by 10 if we get larger, and we divide by 10 as we get smaller. And then liquid volume. Volume is how much space an area takes up. Or liquid, sorry. How much space a liquid takes up. So when you pour liquid like milk into a cup, it takes up a certain amount of space inside that cup. So that's what we're looking at, is that volume. Not the volume of a radio or the TV or your iPad or anything like that. This is the volume of as far as space. So if you notice over here on our table on page 269, we are now in what units? What do we see there? Liters. Okay. So yesterday when we were looking at length, our metric unit was meters. Today, we're looking at volume, and our base unit or our metric unit is liter. You might also see liter spelled this way. That is the English version of the word. So if you see it, it's not that there's a typo. It's just that it's a different form of the word. Okay. I think in our book, it's all the American version, which is L-I-T-E-R. So we are still using the same thinking as yesterday with King. Say it with me if you remember. Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. Excellent. Okay, another way I was telling the group I was working with today is the way I learned it was King Henry died Monday drinking chocolate milk. Poor King Henry. Can you imagine dying by drinking chocolate milk? It's so sad. Okay, that just gets you the M as your base unit there. So this way you remember that the U is the unit, and that changes. So for example, our unit yesterday was M, meters. Today, our unit is going to be L for liters. These prefixes stay the same. These are prefixes. So there's kilo, hecto, deca, deci, centi, milli. If you need to remember those, they are also over here. Deca, hecto, kilo, deci, centi, milli. Okay. So those are all on your, they're actually here too. They're in a couple places. So that could help you remember those prefixes. And those prefixes just tell you what unit you're in. So for example, centi, we know means 100 in Latin. So there are 100 centimeters in 1 meter, or 100 centiliters in 1 liter. Okay, so we're going to use that knowledge to try some conversions in liters today. So it is the same movement as yesterday. So for example, let's look at number 1. 49 liters is how many milliliters? Okay, so if we put our slide up here, I'm going to put an L there, because that's our unit that we're working with today. We are starting with liters, and we need to move to milliliters. So we need to get over here. So which way do we need to move? To the right. And how many times? 1, 2, 3. So our decimal point needs to move 3 places to the right. Where is our decimal place in the number 49? Before the 4, after the 4, after the 9? After the 9. Oh, it's so much more accurate today. I love it. Okay, so our decimal point's right here. I'm going to write it larger so you can see it. And we need to move 1, 2, 3 places to the right. So I'm going to take my decimal point where it starts, and I'm going to move it 1, 2, 3 places to the right. That's where it's going to end up. What do I do with those empty spaces? I add zeros in any empty container. And then this one, I'm going to need a comma there. So 49 liters is the same as 49,000 milliliters. Okay, try number 2 on your own. See what you come up with. Okay, so for number 2, we have 5 6/68 kiloliters, and we need to go to liters. So we are starting here, and we need to get to here. So which way do we need to go? To the right. How many times? 3. Now here I have a decimal point here. It's starting right there. So 5 6/68. I'm taking my decimal point from that starting point and I'm moving it 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3. That's where it's going to end up. I have an empty hole. What do I do?
Add a 0.
Fill that in. So it's 5,680 liters. Now, what am I doing mathematically here? Yes, I'm moving my decimal point. It's a nice, easy trick to use. But what am I actually doing? So right here, for this number 1, I'm taking 49 liters, and I'm changing it to milliliters. How many milliliters are in 1 liter? Remember, we're multiplying by 10. So this is 10, 100, 1,000. So there's 1,000 milliliters in every liter. So I would be multiplying this by 1,000 because there's 1,000 milliliters in every liter. I have 49 liters. There's 1,000 in each of those. That's going to get me my conversion. Here, I start with 5 6/68 kiloliters, and I need to go to liters. How many liters are in a kiloliter? Remember, it's base 10. So this is 10, this is 100, this is 1,000. So how many liters are in a kiloliter? 1,000. So I'm going to multiply by 1,000, and that's going to get me 5,680. Okay. All right, so there's some examples on that. Let's look at some word problems. I know the word problems last night were tough. They were definitely not easy. They were challenging your thinking. Okay, tonight on your Think Central, you have 6 conversions like we just did. 6 of them are just like that, where you're just converting from one unit to the other. 3 of them are word problems that are multi-step problems. Okay, so the last 3, 7, 8, and 9 are word problems. So let's look at an example and see how we work through it. Let's look at number 13. It says Morgan's juice glass holds 225 milliliters. Okay, there's some information for us. If she uses that glass to drink 8 glasses of water every day, how many liters of water does Morgan drink during a week? Okay, so there is some hidden information here. We need to know how many days are in a week, right? Which is 7. So I'm going to make myself a little note. There's 7 days in a week. Okay, so if Morgan's glass holds 225 milliliters and she drinks 8 glasses every day for a week, how many days is she drinking a glass of water? Or water? 7 days. And how many is she drinking each day? 8. So if she's drinking 7 days and she's drinking 8 glasses each of those days, how many glasses of water total is she drinking? Okay, so she's drinking 56 glasses of water. Now that glass holds 225 milliliters. So here I have a choice as a mathematician. I can either do my conversion now, or I can do my solution, my equation, and then convert. Either way, you're going to get the same answer. Okay? But what we need to do is, if she's having 56 glasses of water and each one of those holds 225, how could we figure out how many milliliters that is? Multiply. So we're going to take 225 milliliters, and we're going to multiply that by the number of glasses that she uses, which is 56. And as we complete that math, let's see if we all come up with the same thinking. Double check each other. Pause there for a second. Okay, so we all agree that it's 12,600 milliliters of water that she's drinking that week. Now, the question asks us, though, how many liters? So now we need to do our conversion. So we need to take 12,600 milliliters, and we need to figure out how many meters that is. So if I go back to poor King Henry, I'm starting with milliliters, and I need to get, oops, I put an M there. Sorry about that. I need to get to my L, my liters. Okay, so mathematically I'm thinking, okay, how many milliliters are in every liter? There's 1,000. So I need to divide this because I'm going from small to big. So I need to divide that. Okay, so this number is going to be smaller than this number. 1, 2, 3. Where's my decimal point in my 12,600 milliliters? That's a comma. This is a whole number. 12,600 is a whole number. Where's my decimal point? At the end of that number. Okay, so that's where my decimal point's starting, and I need to jump it 1, 2, 3 to the left. To the left, to the left. So my decimal point's going to end up here, which would mean it would be 12 6/10 liters. Okay. So again, tonight you're going to have 6 that are just conversions, making sure you understand that conversion process. And then you're going to have 3 word problems that involve multi-step. Some of them may have some hidden information where you have to think, okay, how many days are in a week? Okay, that is hidden information you have to think about. Mathematically, what did I just do here? I divided it by 1,000, okay, because there are 1,000 milliliters in every liter. And that got me to, if I did all this math, it would get me to 12 6/10. Okay. All right. So today, again, it's just our thinking, same thinking from yesterday, just a different unit. So it's just getting us another understanding of that conversion.